I created the story engine because I've met so many writers who are walking around with just the most amazing story ideas in their heads, and for whatever reason they couldn't get them down on paper. I wanted to design a deck of cards that would let writers create their own writing prompts in their own style. Using the story engine deck, you can create new character concepts, plot threads. If you play Dungeons & Dragons, you can use it to create new NPCs, new settings, new magic items. I really recommend you check out storyenginedeck.com.
Good afternoon or evening, everybody. I'm hoping we've got some people in our stream already. I don't know how we tell. Maybe we're just talking to each other, but that's fine. Good afternoon or evening. I am Ed McDonald. I am going to be the Dungeon Master for today's session. Can we just check, get a little feedback on the mic, anyone?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hello.
Miles, can you mute your mic just for a second?
Can I mute my mic? Sure.
Sorry, Miles. Yeah, sorry, not you, Robin. There we go. Okay, that's sounding better. Hello, we are today going to be playing a game of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. This is a one-shot event. It is going to be a complete story told in, we're whatever amount of time it takes us. About 2 hours is our guess. Many thanks to TBRCon and all its organisers for having us here, and all the sponsors. So to begin with, we'll just do a short round of introductions. If we could all go through, introduce ourselves, say what you might be known for outside of this particular stream. So I am Ed McDonald. I'm the author of the Raven's Mark series of fantasy books and the author of Daughter of Redwinter, which is out in all good bookshops, UK, US right now. I'm a keen D&D player. I'm involved in historical martial arts. And on that note, I'm going to hand over to Miles to give his own introduction.
Hello, I'm Miles Cameron. Today I'll be playing Fokion, a ranger. I'm a fantasy and science fiction writer. My most recent novel is Against All Gods, set in a Bronze Age, and I sometimes dabble in science fiction. And this is my science fiction novel, Artifact Space. And that's also my excuse because I play a lot more science fiction role-playing games than fantasy role-playing games, at least lately. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Ed. Much appreciated. I'm not sure I have a copy handy. Anyway, thanks for playing. I love role-playing games. I've played for eons, and I paint little men for inspiration when I'm writing. Also little women, also little elves, also little everything else.
Sunyi, could you go give us a rundown of how do we know you?
You probably don't, but just in case you do, I wrote a book called The Book Eaters. It came out August of this year for my sons. And I'm also in the Geek Brigade, so I'll do anything but LARP. Otherwise, miniatures, board games, tabletop, war games, it's all good.
Wonderful, thank you. Louise.
Hi everyone, I'm Louise. I write science fiction and fantasy. You might know me from my debut solo trilogy of cyberpunk thrillers, the Inscape trilogy, which all 3 are now available from Galanx and hopefully in many good bookshops. I like playing board games. I'm an avid D&Der, and yeah, very much also a part of the Geek Brigade.
Ah.
And last but not least, Robin.
Hi, I'm bringing up the rear here. My entire life is an RPG. I'm an actor, so I play roles constantly, but I'm also an audiobook narrator, probably best known in this world for the 5th season trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. But sci-fi and fantasy, I always wanted to get into when I was doing historical fiction and stories about slaves on plantations. And now I've fully made it into this world where I'm really happy, exceedingly happy, especially with all the different authors I get to voice and narrate. And I've been actually playing D&D. This is just my first year, my second character. So I still have to check which die I pick up. I don't get to play as often as I'd like, but I'm all in. I'm all in. And my character is Nixa. Should we tell about our characters, or just dive in?
We'll do that in the game. So, yeah, I think without any further ado, then let's get into what we're here for. I can't promise dungeons and I can't promise dragons, but we'll certainly be having some adventures. So, yeah, let's just begin. The last remnants of a dream slip from your mind, and you feel the soft, gentle warmth of a blanket around you, the plush depth of a comfortable armchair at your back. As your eyes open, you see warm lamplight spilling across the interior of a broad, mostly wooden-floored, wooden-walled room, lined with shelves of heavy-looking books. Leather-bound covers are embossed with gold and silver text, bound in red, green, and brown leather. There's a spiral staircase leading upwards to a higher floor far across the room, and a door with a bell above it appears to lead outside where night fills the windows. Your armchair is close to the fire, and beside you, 3 other chairs with 3 other people are also positioned, each one occupied by an unfamiliar person. You've never seen this room before. This is not where you were. You don't recall how you got here. Miles, your dog lies at your feet, scratching at his ear sleepily with a paw. There is a table between the comfy, overstuffed chairs and a warm, well-stocked log fire. And this table in front of you, there are lectern-like reading plinths, and on each one lies an open book in front of you. I'm going to say, since your dog is scratching himself, Miles, you're the first to fully come awake. Over to you.
I'm enjoying being warm and dry for a moment. It's beautiful. It's like an ideal world for my character. So I scratch my dog, look around at the people. I'm going to assume that since they haven't already woken up and killed me, they're probably not an immediate peril. And in fact, I'm going to look around to see if there's any food or drink.
Okay. You look around. You don't see any food, any drink. Could you make a perception check for me? Let's get a roll right in there straight early. So.
Yep. I have to go somewhere on my phone here.
Okay. Yep. Well.
Yes, I think I can manage a. Is this passive wisdom?
Roll your wisdom. D20 plus your wisdom, and I think we're adding 2.
And I'm rolling under my target number. So I
just roll it and tell me your score.
I rolled a 4.
4. You're pretty hungry, perhaps, and your quest to look for food means you look around, but no, you don't notice anything in particular here.
Well, then I'm going to probably let a curse pass my lips, which may wake someone else up.
This brings the rest of you on that sort of hazy edge of sleep, in this comfortable surrounding, and everybody else is now coming awake. You do not know where you are. You've not seen this place before.
That's not the first time I've woken up somewhere strange after a night out drinking, so I'm not too bothered.
Yeah, honestly, same.
Yeah.
And just to pass the time, and because I'm a ranger, I'm going to throw another log on the fire and sort of poke it up. Is there a poker?
There's some tools, scrapers and pokers and things by the fire, made of brass. They're a little tarnished, but there's a basket full of wood.
Do we have all our gear? Things that we own?
Yeah, if you have a backpack, that kind of stuff, it just seems to be lying on beside you. your weapons are awkwardly arranged so that you can sit in the chairs. Yeah, you don't seem, if you pack yourself down, you don't seem to be missing anything.
Hmm.
In fact, so Nick, could you roll a
Oops, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Lost you, Ed.
just roll a d20 and add your wisdom modifier.
Ooh, 19. And my wisdom, +1.
Swan, 20. Okay.
Hmm.
So while Reese is perhaps not perhaps surprised to be wondering where where they've woken up, Nixa, the last thing you remember, where were you traveling to recently?
I was traveling through the woods. I was on my way from one town where my loot had been stolen, and I'm following the lead of where it might go. So I was going through the forest, and I had all my things with me. And I all of a sudden sort of disappeared from that trail, and so I've woken up here. My first thought is, am I alive or dead? Did someone kill me? Not that I mind, though, because I'm sort of curious about what's on the other side anyway.
Yeah. As you with that roll of 20, you kind of recall you were in the middle of taking a step. Like it's like an instant cut together montage of
Right.
There's a slight blurriness. Sorry, Miles, can I get you to just mute your mic while you're not speaking? Getting a lot of feedback out of you.
Yeah.
Brilliant, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, mid-step. While you were thinking about your the loot and where you might find something, and halfway through taking a step, you were suddenly in that cozy warmth. You're aware that maybe you're dead. You don't feel dead.
I don't.
Seem.
And all my things are here, so I'm trying to weigh where I am and if it's purgatory. And are these good people? Which place did I go to? The upside one or the downside one? I'm not sure. Although these people don't look too dangerous.
Well, on that subject, as Nixa looks across, so we've got Honest Joe Grobler. What does Nixa see? What are we looking at here?
I mean, Honest Joe probably looks a little dangerous, covered in scars, wearing split mail, armed to the teeth now, because as soon as I woke up, the first thing I did was check my stuff and then grab my weapons. And I'm sort of staring at everybody suspiciously. And as soon as I make eye contact, I'm like, who the hell are you?
Yes.
And so Nixa, could you also describe who Honest Joe is talking to?
Who? Oh, me, in other words. Yes. So I'm 3.5 feet tall. I'm a gnome bard. And I'm in gnome years. I'm in my 20s, essentially. So I haven't really reached that 300 or 350 year stretch. So I haven't gone gray just quite yet. But I'm really quite mischievous, and instead of being afraid of things, I don't have that body language. I sort of have a fascination. And so what you see on my face is not horror or wariness. It's, how do I make this one my friend? Because he looks a little scary, but I think I can make him my friend. So I'm trying to figure out what songs or tunes might work for him on my drum or on my flute.
Great. And so Reese is looking out, seeing this startled, scarred-looking Joe. Is Joe Grobler a human?
Human paladin, yeah.
Human. Okay, yeah. This warrior facing off against a small gnome musician. What do we see when we look at Reese?
Reese is kind of down on his luck. He's wearing what looks like to be an ex-temple uniform, as if he used to be a guard, but it's a little bit tattered, a little bit slept in too many nights in a row. He has a shield that's fairly big, and he's kind of edging it slightly, ever so slightly, between gnome and the angry human man. He's got a spear that's very awkwardly kind of jammed into the side of the chair, and he's trying to unobtrusively free that.
And finally, this dog just looks up from the ground. And
She's a very, very big dog.
What breed of dog?
Like a large hound, like a Scottish deerhound.
Okay, and Fokian, what does Fokian look like?
Fokian is a half elf. If you have the discernment, you'd see that he's not that young. He is very nattily dressed, more Robin Hood than Aragorn, and has perhaps more equipment than he ought. It sort of looks like he brought the kitchen sink. But I would like to sort of turn and greet everyone in a very polite, almost courtly way. And in fact, I'll give a little bow and say, I'm Fokion at your service. Does anyone know how we got here?
Mm.
Well, I was out drinking last night with this fellow, but I didn't get his name, and I pointed at Honest Joe.
Oh, yeah. I remember you. I was just trying to ditch all of the rest of the guys from Paladin training and walked into the first tavern I found. Woke up here. And honestly, this kind of thing happens a lot when you live the adventuring life.
I'm not sure how I got here, because I was traipsing through the forest, trying not to be detected on the way to find my loot. And then all of a sudden I was here. So I thought maybe someone killed me, shot me in the back. But something tells me that's not the case. There's something magical afoot. We need to figure out what it is.
I agree. I was captured by goblins and I was tied to something in the woods. So this is an enormous. Everything is much better than it was a few moments ago. And I'm warm and dry, and I was soaked to the skin because all my things had been stolen, and now all my things are right here. This is wonderful. And then I'm going to run my hand through the fire I've just put up and say, and it appears to be real. I mean, unless I don't feel the heat, in which case I won't.
Yeah, you reach out to the fire, and it is warm. You don't put your hand in the fire. It's a genuine fire. You can smell the lamp oil, and combining with the sort of musky odor of old books. As you look around, though, you see there's a sort of counter as well with a sort of a locked box on it. I say a locked box; it has a thick padlock on it, of the kind that you see in vendors around the world. And you think, for some reason, you're in a bookshop.
Ed, did you tell us that there were books on little reading stands in front of each of us?
In front of each of you, there is a lectern with a book on it. That's right.
Can I have a look?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing you see is that the book is it's written in common, so it's perfectly easy to understand. And as you look at the open page, it's only partly written. It's not fully complete. This is not a finished book. And the final lines that you read on the page say, as Fokian sat there, tied to the tree, drenched in rain, hungry, and it just stops.
Okay. I'm in.
Does he share that with us? Does he read it out loud, or is that just to himself?
I will definitely read it out loud, and I will even say that's just where I was. Nixa, you should look at your book.
I'm going to look at my book because I think I can find something similar there. We might have a clue about where we are. So I check my book. And yes, it's me traipsing through the forest at night and stepping And then it ends. The sentence doesn't even have a period. It just stops in mid-sentence with mid-words. So I confirm to everyone, yes, this is exactly what happened to me. This is the last place that I knew I was.
Reese, I read mine, but I'm kind of taking a long time and having to stumble over some of the words and repeat them a few times, mouthing them to myself as I work through the text.
Yeah, Joe's doing the exact same thing. But as soon as I twig, I'm sort of wondering, does anybody have a pen?
Okay. Oh,
Because if this is what happened to us, maybe we can change what happens next.
Fabulous idea. That's a fabulous idea, but we need a pen. Now, I'd like to check in my bag to see if I have a pen, because typically I would. Having been a tutor, I never go anywhere without a pen. But I feel like that's the thing we need, but it's not in my bag.
Okay, does anyone have a pen in their equipment?
No.
No. Okay.
I'll look around. There must be one in a bookshop. You would
Okay.
think.
Do you want to roll an investigation check for me?
Okay.
Honest Joe.
Oh, investigation. Hold on. 19.
19. Okay, so you head over to what looks like a sort of sales counter, and you do find a goose quill writing pen and a pot of ink. The ink is black, and when you head back over to these unusual books, the thing you notice with your high investigative powers is that the ink on the page has a slightly strangely dark metallic quality to it. You dip your pen in your ink, you try and write with the goose quill, and as you do so, first of all, the ink doesn't go into the page. It's like the paper it's written on is waterproof, like it's been waxed somehow, and it sits on top as you try and write. But more than that, as you try and write on it, the book twitches and shakes for a moment. And then all 4 books fly up into the air, head off to the shelves, and plant themselves on a shelf.
Oh no, what did I do?
Maybe we'll
go look for my book.
Yeah, you can see where they landed. Yeah, you can go and get it back for you.
Right.
I'm going to go look for a door. I do not like this haunted library. I do not like it at all.
I'm looking for something to eat.
Okay. There is a door that goes to the outside, because you can see there are windows behind them, and there is like a little bell above the door, so it rings if the door opens. There's also a metal spiral stair going up into another area.
I want to know what's up the staircase, because I want to know where it is we are. And is there anyone else here who might be a guide who could tell us what the rules are of this space? So I want to go up the stairs.
Okay.
I don't think it's a good idea to ring the bell to the outside. It's just my natural elvish paranoia. Pay no attention. But if I can do so without harming the bell, that is, I don't want to cut the ribbon, I will sort of put it off to one side so that it can't ring.
Okay. Can you... I'm going to say make a sleight of hand check for that to see how delicately you do it. So that's one of your skills. And meanwhile, was it Nick? Someone was looking to go upstairs. Who was going to the staircase?
I'm going to the staircase. Nixa.
Okay. Okay, yeah. As you get over, first of all, we'll do this sleight of hand check. But as 17, you're going along, 17.
Natural 17 plus 3 is 20.
Wow, you guys are coming in with the rolls today. I hope you're not using up all your
in the wrong place
now. Okay, so you take a small strap or a small string, and you manage to sort of tie the bell's clapper just around the top, so that it won't ring if the door is open.
Super.
I imagine that Honest Joe and Reese are probably slightly baffled about what Fokian is doing, as he didn't explain it.
Yes, absolutely. I say out loud, I don't want the bell to ring. I don't know why.
Whereas Nixa, as you get says, so the staircase is one of those sort of fine crafted black wrought iron spiral stairs going up. And there are there's a short stack of books on the first stair. So you can try and step around them.
Yes.
And as you do, those books, they tumble and fall. You don't touch them even. They just fall into a pile on collapse over. And then they launch up into the air, flapping their pages open, making a slight clapping sound.
Okay.
And then they swarm around, swirling in a cloud, and fly straight at you. And this book is going to attack.
Oh, it's going to attack. Of course, the most defenseless of us, the gnome, the bard. So I'm going to very quickly reach for my flute and begin to play a soothing melody that I believe will calm it down. As I duck, and it flies around me. It tries, but I'm going to play.
By complete chance, this book happens to be a history of sonnets and songs, and apparently it respects this because it rolls a 3 and flies past you.
Okay.
However, the book swarm is not done there. The rest of you, somehow you've alerted these animated books which have leapt up to do just cause general menace. However, it's also going to be able to make attacks against, we'll say, Reese and Honest Joe. Reese, does a 12 hit you?
No.
Joe, does a 22 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it might.
Yeah, good guess.
Okay, so it manages to hit you for 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
Ouch. Yeah.
Okay, what do you guys do?
I pick up my sword and shield.
Okay.
Sorry, sword and spear. Shield and spear.
All right, Reese. You're gonna put your first initiative order. Do you want to have a stab at a book?
Yeah, I'll stab one with a spear. Is it not on a 2?
No. There's a bunch of books. It's just like now the library is just filled with books whipping past you, under you. Okay. Like you sort of out the way as one goes behind you. You take a swipe, but they're pretty nimble. Honest Joe.
Yeah, Joe was never really much of a one for school, so this is like something out of a nightmare for him. Like he's actually had nightmares about this, so I'm just going to pick up my sword and just start swinging it wildly, trying to sort of hit a book if I can. 21.
21, yes, 21 will hit.
And I'm going to, so I think that's, let me just check. 2d6 plus 3. I do 10 damage.
Okay, this is a great sword attack?
Yeah.
Okay. You're swinging your greatsword around. It's kind of difficult in this, between stacks of books. But as the books are coming down this narrow alley, essentially towards you, it's not proving that hard to whack them out of the way. And you dispatch a fair number of books. Pages rain down around you, and you glory in, if only you could have done this in your schoolyard days. Nixa, would you like to take an action?
I'm not sure yet what I want to do. I'm still evaluating the situation.
Okay. Yeah, you can hold on your action for.
Yes.
if you want, and we'll
Can I
get
use my
spoken.
reaction to? Sorry, I've got a fighting style protection that has a combat reaction. Can I use that to use my shield for Nixus because she's the smallest?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Fokin.
I would like to shout, "We mean you no harm." And I've made an acrobatics roll because I assume that I was stepped up somehow to get at the bell over the door. So what I want to do is dive for my pack,
Okay.
like in a sort of rolling dive, and I rolled a 14 total with my acrobatic skill.
This sounds totally reasonable. Yeah, you just you were standing on like a little stool. So nimbly you leap off. It's not the most amazing acrobatics roll that you've ever seen, but it's a lot better than I would be able to do. So yeah, you manage to scoop your pack up, swing it onto your shoulder. All I want to do is pull a torch off because the torches are on the outside and stick the end in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, yeah. You plunge it into the fire. The pitch soaked rags around the end hiss and spark and erupt into flame.
And I'm going to yell, "I love books. Don't make me do this."
Okay. Nixa, is there anything you want to do at the end of this round?
Yes, I have a question first, though. Is it clear whether the books understand Folkian?
The books don't have any real way of communicating that to you. They're still moving.
They're still moving. Okay, so mine was the same idea. I was going to dive for my pack and get the candles out and basically threaten them. But you've got a much bigger candle, figuratively speaking. So actually what I want to do is I see Folkian go for his pack and pull out something, and the books have been temporarily redirected. So I go for my pack and get out my blanket, which at that point I'm going to try to move around me as a weapon. It's not normally a weapon, but to cause a whirlwind and hopefully keep them distracted. But I'm using it to get to the fireplace so I can sit near the fire. And if it comes at me, then it's got to deal with the fact that there's heat and there's flame right next to me.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to consider this as taking the dodge action because it's trying to cause some disruption around and make it harder for them to hit you. And you get over to the fireplace. The books seem unfazed by pleas towards them. It's at this stage, it's more like there are just a lot of books whirling around in the air. Although Reese did manage to dispatch a fair number of them.
Oh no, Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Okay. So, Reese, would a 17 hit you?
No, my AC is 19 because of the shield.
I mean, these books are having a bad time just flying into a shield. It is exactly as effective as you would expect a book versus shield battle to go. The pen is not proving mightier right now. You see that, in fact, like one of the books that hits into a shield has like one of those half torn off stickers that says "signed by the author," and you think, "Oh, this book was already ruined." The second, we have an 8 to hit Joe, and finally we have we have a 13 to hit Honest Joe.
That's a miss.
And we have a 6 to hit Fokin.
Nope.
And finally, so the books have disadvantage on this attack roll. We have a 14 for Nixa.
Yes, Nixa rolled a 14 too.
Reese was trying to do some interposing with the shield as well. Now, you wouldn't normally have triple disadvantage, but you know what? It's early days in this stream, and I'm trying not to kill you all completely. There we go.
Oh.
Triple disadvantage, natural 1. We get a 4 for the books. And this time, Nixa, as you're swinging your pack around like this, as you do, However, you can't see what's happening really. A book is coming right at your face, and as it almost gets there, then this shield just bang, stops it dead in front of it. As this happens, you then hear a voice just shouting, "Stop! Stop! Stop all this! What's going on?" And you look across, and coming down the stairs, as the books slow and start to hover in place. Pardon me. A very peculiar person. You're not sure what. Pardon me. You're not sure what type of humanoid they are. There is almost pointed enough to suggest elf or gnome or half-elf, but not quite. They almost look like they're in their late teens, but also you think, but could they be like maybe in their late 20s? Could they be a child? They're sort of about 4 foot, 6 feet tall. It's very hard to identify any clear features that they have that identify exactly what they are. But they have one nose, 2 eyes, a mouth, and you think that this person would identify as male just by the physique. So, has some short dark hair. Sorry, we're getting a little feedback on the mics again. There we go. Thanks. So as they come down, they're wearing a leather apron with some burns and scratches on it. Pardon me. Sorry, one moment, guys. I'm going to just cough my heart out and die. So they sing, "Stop! Stop! What's going on?" And they look around like, "Oh, who are you?" The books, they hover for a moment, and then they all start returning to their places.
Okay.
I'm lying on the floor with a torch, which I now don't want to use. So I'm going to throw the torch into the fire and grab the collar of my dog before something else untoward happens. And I'm going to say, "Good day to you, sir. I'm Fokion," while lying on the floor in front of the fireplace.
Good. I'm going to step up. Nixa's going to step up next and say, "Well, if we're introducing ourselves the way we should, if it's proper, my name is Nixa. I don't know how I got here, and none of these people seem to know how they got here either. Hi, Fokion. Nice to meet you. Who are you?"
Well, I'm the owner. This is my bookshop, and I'm assuming then that this must be Reese and this must be Joe.
Yes.
Oh dear. I think I've made a bit of a boo boo. He looks a little like a kid who's been caught out doing something they shouldn't have. Well, I was only trying to write your stories, you see. But it seems like I've pulled you through into this extra dimensional space.
I'm going to get to my feet and say, "And a pleasure to meet you too, Nixa." And I'm going to turn back and say, "You've improved my life immeasurably, sir, so I'm deeply in your debt."
Well, yes. It might not be as good as you think it is. This is a very small extra-dimensional space. It's a bookshop. It's a bit of a surrounding land that I made for myself there. And that is it. And I'm afraid I made a bit of an alchemical mistake that has resulted in you ending up here with me. So, first of all, sorry about stealing you away from your lives and homes. Not my intention.
Fine.
Sorry about slashing on your books with my greatsword.
Oh, it's all right. these people weren't going to be bestsellers anyway. So it's just
We're just remaindering them.
It's look. This isn't. Yes, these are. It looks like you just mostly got some celebrity autobiographies. So you look down, and these just look like
A copy of Extra.
yeah. You would. These should have been in the bargain bin anyway.
Oh, thank goodness.
And as you, however, the owner looks a little agitated. Well, it looks like you've come right out of the middle of some kind of adventure, and I was looking forward to what happens next. I thought Reese and Joe. I thought you were both likely to do some hanging out with that dwarven umpar band that you were.
Yeah.
I've sort of cancelled the series mid-flow by accident. It's a problem of ink, you see.
Can you explain that? I don't understand a problem of ink.
Well, you see, when you're writing a life and you're recording the true actions that someone takes, and he reaches into his under his apron, into his little jerkin, takes out this little bottle of ink. When you're writing a life, you have to use pretty special ink. And I think I probably just ran out of ink at the end of a line, or the ink wasn't quite mixed right. And the bit that's meant to stop you teleporting into an extra dimensional bookshop has gone wrong, which means I didn't have enough astral rust in it. Sorry about that, guys. My bad.
Easy mistake to make. Could have happened to anyone, I imagine.
Perhaps the important question, sir, is where can we go from here?
Yes.
And do you have anything to eat? And do you have anything to feed a dog? And do you have any wine?
And is there a tavern in this extra dimensional space?
So in order to answer those questions, it depends what you eat, first of all. It depends how much you need to know what you're eating after that answer. It depends. There are no taverns in this space.
Oh, no.
Why not?
There's I'll be honest. There's a woods. There's a river, and there's an old boat, and there's a bookshop.
Well, my question is, I'm in the midst of a quest. I need to get back to it. I was hot on the trail of my stolen loot. I need to get back. Can I take the river? Can I go to the woods? How do I get back?
Yes. Okay. I mean, it's only fair to send you back. My customers don't want unfinished books of heroes. They want to know your whole journey. So the books should really be written until you either or otherwise retire. So what I need is some astral rust. But it will get noisy around here if the geese don't get fed. They get very agitated when they're hungry. So what I propose is, while I mix up a new batch of ink, if you head out into the forest and go to the river, first of all, take a bag of goose feed my geese, then head down the river. You'll find a crashed boat in the river. Scrape off some rust from its railings. Has to be astral rust, you see. Then bring that back. I can mix the ink, write it up, and I can write you all back home.
Okay.
Good. So
Give that a go.
So, first goal is to feed the geese. We got to find the geese. We got to feed the geese. Do you have goose food? Do you have goose food, or do we have to find it ourselves?
Goose food, easy. Bags of pellets just outside the front door.
All right.
Follow the deer trail. You'll come to north, or what looks like north. It's not really a sun, you see, that comes up here. I just sort of wrote it into being like a sun. Follow that go north, and you'll hit the river. Then go west along the river, then come back. It's the shortest way to the boat anyway.
What should we call you, sir?
Oh, my name it doesn't translate well into your tongue, I wouldn't imagine. It's more a feeling than exactly a word. So just think of me as the owner of the shop.
Okay.
Do you ever get visitors here, owner of the shop?
Oh, yes, from time to time. Those who seek these kind of goods.
And,
well, I have a question. If we get lost, if I get lost with my friends here, going to feed your geese, can we reach out to you? How do we get a message to you to say help? We're not sure where we are. Is there a way to do that?
Only if you have a knowledge of the a spell that would accomplish that. I don't have any homing pigeons to give you.
Ah, all right. So we're on our own.
It's all right. You should reach the geese in an hour or two. They're not very far.
All right, then. These geese look like geese. They're not something strange we got to figure out.
Oh, you know geese. Wings, white feathers, long necks.
Got it.
As you have both pen and paper, sir, perhaps you could draw us a map.
Okay, he gives you a look. You sense him being slightly upset. Okay.
It might match the look.
He draws a line that goes up, a line that goes across, and then a line that comes back down.
His look might match the look of extreme cynicism I had when he said all we had to do is feed the geese and then walk through the woods to the river.
Yes. Well, I'm going to suggest that we all properly introduce ourselves and agree to work together as a team.
We don't have any options, I agree.
Yep.
So I would be delighted to work with all of you.
Yeah, fine. I mean, I've got to get back to the tavern. This is serious, guys.
I think when this is done, I might ask him to write me through where I was to another place, but we'll see if that's even possible.
Okay.
So Joe, can you roll me a Constitution check?
Yes. Oh no. I rolled. Oh, an 11. Okay.
What's your Constitution score?
It's for saving throws. It's +2.
Okay. Yeah, your hangover is starting to come on now. You've got an ache in your temples. There's a something behind your eyes, that queasy, stomachy feeling. And yeah, you need another ale is what you need. That is what would sort this out. Okay. The owner is picking up the pages of the shredded books and sticking them into a waste paper bin. And you head outside, and you see these sacks of goose pellets, which really it's just like little acorns and stuff like that, all mixed up in a bag. Stuff geese like to eat. And you start north out into the woods. It's dawn now. The sun has, by this point, you know this is not really a sun. This is some kind of illusion of light. But it creates the most spectacular and beautiful dawn rising to the east, or the fictional east, and you head into the woods. As you're walking along through the woods, you've been walking for about 15 minutes. It feels quite calm. Fokian. Yeah.
I'm going to offer Honest Joe a good berry. Sovereign balm for a hangover.
I look at it suspiciously. Is it fruit? Because I don't really eat fruit.
Oh, you do? Wine's a fruit.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Yeah, I'll accept the good berry. Thank you. That helps a bit. Oh, my head. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and with the good berry, you feel nourished for a whole day. but I mean, it's still food going in your stomach at this point. It doesn't unpoison you, does it? So you're also like, oh, was it really a good idea?
Yeah, now I'm feeling really bloated. Like,
But it restores a hit point. How many hangovers do more than one hit point?
I don't know. I've had some bad hangovers. Okay, as you're walking along through the forest, Fokin, do you have a favorite terrain?
Yes, in fact, my favorite terrain is forest.
Okay. Do you want to make a nature check for me?
I rolled a 10. I have to look up what that means.
Okay, a 10.
Add your wisdom bonus.
Oh.
That would make it a 13. No, 12.
Oh,
sorry,
no,
12.
Int bonus, is it? Int bonus. Never mind.
Anyway, it's 12 because I found it.
Okay. You notice from the trail that it doesn't look like this trail is used particularly regularly. You don't notice any tracks along the trail very often. Those that you do see are of different shapes and sizes of boots. And from your knowledge of trails and tracking and survival skills, you identify that, or you didn't look at the owner's feet, but you don't think that small figure, 4'8" or so. Some of them are definitely bigger than his shoes. However, just while you're pondering this, Reese, what do you have in your pockets?
Oh, I'm not sure. Do temple guards have pockets?
Or what would you
like
pouch
gambling,
or...
maybe gambling dice or some change, spare change, a little bit of money, cards.
Okay, yeah. So as you're walking ahead in the mud of the trail, standing upright, stuck in the ground, is a playing card.
Okay.
And then along behind it, a number of other playing cards in a kind of whirling line, like a serpentine line going along in the mud. And as you see these, and you come up and you pick one up from the backs of the cards, you like they're sort of slightly scratched and shabby, well used exterior. These are your cards.
Okay. Hey, I recognize this card. I marked it.
Ed, sorry. I just wanted to say that now that I have looked at it, I have something called Natural Explorer, which doubled my bonus, if that makes any difference. And that I can accurately identify any creatures that I track, the exact number, size, and how long ago they passed.
Okay, all right. That will make a difference in a moment. So yeah, Reese, you see these cards. Everyone else sees these playing cards as well, sort of very clearly stuck in the mud on their ends.
I check my pockets to see if my cards are still there.
No, they're not.
Okay, right.
Fokin, what is it you're able to track? Their exact size and location?
It says you can find twice as much food while foraging, and while tracking creatures, you learn the exact number, size, and how long ago they passed through this area.
Okay.
And you're alert to danger even while performing another activity.
Okay, yeah. So the number of them would be you discern 12 different sets of tracks. All of them would have been what we consider to be a medium size, anywhere from sort of in the general human type size. A couple of them would be considered small, and the time duration that they pass through here, I'm going to say that they are all different, but Some of them, despite what the ability says, some of them you can't tell. You can just tell that they are very old tracks. Because what's strange about this forest is it doesn't really have the normal natural weather systems that you would expect. You suspect that it might not rain here ever, despite being a sort of deciduous forest. Because as the bookshop owner has told you, you are in an extra dimensional space. This is not a natural world environment. But the tracks range anywhere from a few months ago to years ago. But the ground is largely undisturbed, so the tracks remain. Anyway, you've got your playing cards.
Ed, I just want to say that from here on out, I'm going to leave myself little trail signs. I'll just like break a small branch, make a little arrow shape of nutshells or twigs in the trail, because I have suspicions.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to pick up the playing cards as we go. I don't know what else to do with them.
Okay,
I have a quick question. Are there any woodland animals of any kind within sight, like a bird or a squirrel?
Do you want to make a perception check for me?
Sure. 12. 12. Perception. Yes. +1. So 13.
13. You cannot. You realize you haven't heard any birds since you've been here at all. There's no rustling of animals, anything like that.
Ah, okay.
However, as you're listening out to see if you can hear anything, you do think you catch the faintest sound of a tittering little laugh somewhere in the wind.
Okay. Whoops. Okay, yes, I got it. A tittering little laugh. Methinks we are not alone. Methinks we are not alone. I hear a laugh in the distance, and I'm not seeing any animals. I know this is not a real place, but there's somebody out there, and I think they're watching us. So
you ever heard any stories about a place like this since you're a bard? It's just something I'm kind of asking you in character, you know. Have you heard anything, any legends or rumors about that kind of... I'm very suspicious of the shop owner.
I am too, as a matter of fact. And the stories that I know all talk about purgatory and places you go to after you have died. So I'm trying to figure out if the story he told us is true. And since he has the power to write our stories, how much do we want to tell him?
Okay.
Well, I think we have to I think we have to feed the geese, but we have to be very careful about him, I think, too. Reese, I think you're right.
Ed, I'm still on tracks. Tracks usually begin and end. The tracks just appeared, or they've been constant since we started walking the trail?
They have been constant since you started out, yeah.
They go in both directions or just one direction?
They go in one direction.
Away from us or towards us?
Further into the forest.
The forest.
And so I'm going to turn to my friends and say, I want to try a little experiment in a moment, but my observation is that 2 or 3 other groups have come this way and never come back. And that has happened over a large expanse of time. It's a guess.
Are we expecting to go there and come back this way? Or it's not?
This is the experiment that I'm going to perform in a moment. But I would have assumed that we would go back the way we came.
Fair.
I'm going to answer Foki and say, I thought the same thing. I'm so glad you said that.
So, Ed, all I want to do is when we've gone down the trail another 3 minutes, 5 minutes, I'm going to ask everyone if they'd be so kind as to halt. And I'm just going to jog back and see if my little field signs are still there and if the tracks look exactly the same or whether the trail looks very slightly different.
Don't go out of sight.
No, I'm literally I'm not going to ever lose sight of them.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
now, since he's asked that, I think I want to. Nixa comes in to respond. Don't you think someone should go with you? You know, to watch your back. We can split up into 2 and 2, but I don't think you should go alone. Truthfully,
Nixa,
I can't help you a whole lot, but I think Reese and Joe might be able to.
I deeply appreciate your point of view, but as I think, going to die before I came here, I'm feeling especially brave today.
I'll just step all over the tracks anyway.
Fokian, when you say that, you all hear music go dun dun dun. Just randomly, just you all hear it though. It sounds like a band are playing.
I'm going to look at Nixa and say, "You're the bard. Did you do that?"
I did not. But I heard it just like you did. And
I'm here for glory.
And then I look up and I look around, trying to find the source of the sound.
Make a perception check. Another one.
Oh God, 4.
No, you're surprised, but
Yeah. Nope. Yeah, no go.
The dramatic sounds are making my headache a lot worse. So at this point, I'm just like, oh, stop it!
You hear the sound of tiny violins playing near your ear.
Now that's just rude.
Nixa, does your profession as a bard include the world of drama?
Does it include
The world of drama.
the world of
The
drama?
theater.
Yes, it
I'm
does.
just wondering if we've entered a situation where there is a fourth wall.
And if there is, we need to find it. Yes, I do have some theatrical expertise as well, musical, theatrical, dance, but also deception. So if we do get into a situation, I can play a lot of different roles. But we first need to find out whether we're in a theater situation. What's your idea, Fokian, for figuring out where our
check the
fault-
tracks? I think
Check the
definitely.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Okay, Fokian, you head back down the trail, keeping in sight of everyone. The marks you made on the trees are still there. Nothing's disappeared behind you. And you're able to head back up to them again.
Ed, when I stop to look at the trail, I'm going to I'm going to try and say something bold and adventure-like curses foiled again, and then I'm going to listen.
No, nothing seems to happen. No.
Okay, I trot back to the party.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you all group up together, and you carry on down the trail. You've been told it's only about an hour and a half to get up to the river where the geese are normally found. You're about halfway there, and on a tree ahead of you, you see carved into the bark, "Do not lick this tree for any reason."
Okay.
I really can't help myself. I'm going to ask to make a nature roll. No, I'm not going to lick the tree. I'm going to try and figure out if there is a reason that I, as a person who lives in woods, understand why you would not want to lick this tree.
Please make a nature roll.
It's not a great day with an 11.
I mean, it just looks like an oak tree.
Does the dog have a reaction to it?
The dog isn't able to read.
Okay.
I say,
I mean the smell.
I say, Kirk, and I snap my fingers, and the dog comes forward. Give it a sniff, Kirk.
Mm.
It's a good sniffing. Yeah, do you want to roll a perception check
Yeah,
for him?
the dog rolled very well. So the dog rolled a 13, and I think is +2 on these perceptions, so 15.
Yeah, I think he probably gets an advantage on that roll as well as a
Oh,
dog.
yeah.
So roll an extra d20 and take the highest score.
Oh, 17, so 20.
As well a dog
He
should.
sniffs around it, but it doesn't seem to pick anything up of particular interest.
Uh,
I have to ask a question. Joe, how's your headache? How are you feeling?
Oh, don't talk so loud.
Oh.
It's fine.
So, but is it your hangover or is it the music? I'm concerned about how it's affecting you.
I mean, the music isn't helping, honestly, but I think it's probably mostly the hangover.
All right, then.
We had a lot to drink last night, didn't we, Reese? I think we did.
I think so.
I think we did. I'm concerned about the way the music might be adversely affecting my merry band. So I'm keeping an eye on that.
Okay. Okay. Do you wish to continue on from the tree that you shouldn't lick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Am I safe in assuming that there are no tracks around the base of the tree or any other sign that it was recently that somebody recently put this sign on or carved into the tree?
You can tell that by the way that the bark has. It doesn't look like fresh. The bark's been cut fresh.
Okay.
So it may have been carved there some years ago. There's no tracks around the base of the tree.
Okay.
Okay, you continue on, and as you continue down the track, before long, you manage to hear. Finally, you're listening out for the signs of things. There's no more music. There's no more giggling, and no more trees that you shouldn't lick. But you do hear the sounds of the geese in the difference. Is that the sound of geese? Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, you're better at geese sounds than me. Yeah, that's good.
Horrible creatures. We had them when I was a kid.
Can we all simultaneously make the sounds a goose would make? So it's like 5 of us doing it at once to simulate the sound of a lot of geese.
Sure.
Okay, let's try it, guys. Okay, that is all we need of it, but that is the sound that you hear. Ahead of you, you can see like the through the trees. There is this slight bank, and then the river. It looks fairly. It's quite wide. It's about 30, maybe 40 feet wide. Fairly fast flowing, bright blue-white waters. And then you see the geese, just as you described. White feathers, wings, long necks. And when I say long necks, as you described them, I mean the goose has 5 long necks. And the goose is making all of the noise and is about 15 feet tall. As it barrels down the path towards you, angry wings flapping, honking a cacophony. This goose looks like it's desperately hungry. But as you see its beak sticky with the remains of dead animals and bits of crushed up bone, you realize it's probably not that interested in the pellets in the bag as it rushes to attack you. Honest Joe, you are going to go first in this fight. What would you like to do?
Hydra goose. Oh my god.
It's a Hydra goose.
A Hydra goose.
Okay, this seems like a serious threat, and probably more serious than the whirlwind of books. So Joe's going to go ahead and do a divine smite if he can. So I'm going to try and lop off one of the goose heads. I hope that 2 more don't grow back. But that's what I'm going to try and do anyway. 18.
18 is a hit.
Yes. So I'm going to do a divine smite. So I'm going to do my normal 2d6 plus 3, and then an additional 2d8.
This is a big hit.
So 8, 9, 10, 11, and then also 12, 20 damage.
20 damage.
Ooh,
Not bad at all. Okay. Okay, yeah. You cleave through and you lop through 2 of the goose's heads, which collapse off onto the ground. The honking decreases.
That's good.
Do you have a bonus action or anything else?
No, that's me done.
Cool. Nixa.
Let's see. I'm going to take out my crossbow because I want to shoot at this thing before it gets close to me, and not having a lot of natural height and strength. So I'm going to pull out my crossbow and take a whack at it.
Okay.
I've rolled 16.
16 will hit.
Yes.
It's fairly clumsy, and it doesn't have any armor. It doesn't look very difficult to hit. It is essentially just a big goose with many heads.
Mm-hmm.
So roll damage.
Yes. Oh, I'm rolling damage. You're rolling damage.
You roll damage. Yeah.
Ah, sorry. Oh, 5.
5. Yeah, your crossbow bolt sinks into the front, and it's fluffy white feathers on the front. You see blood well around it, and its honking continues. Okay, as we get to the goose's turn, you see that from one of its severed heads, one of them starts regrowing. It's a bit like the movie The Thing, you know, when it grows stuff and it doesn't look, it's not fully formed. It's like coming out of there.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to try and bite some people, it's going to peck them. It pecks its enemies to death. But first of all, it will use its ability, Awful Honking. That cacophonous sound that we made together earlier. I need you all to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
13.
8 plus 1. 19, 11.
15.
11. Okay. So, Honest Joe, despite having done some serious damage, you are in the midst of the honking, and you're face to face as this. You're hearing this quivering, bloody, regrowing goose head comes out. You'll suffer disadvantage on your next attack as a result.
This is another nightmare Joe has had.
You just did this amazing smite, and then you see it growing back in your face. Everyone else succeeds in the saving throw. Okay, let's peck some people and see what we can do. Okay. It's currently got 4 heads, so it can peck all of you. So we're going to try and peck Fokian with a roll of a natural 20 to hit Fokian. We're going to hit Reese. I'm going to roll damage after I've done this. That's a 16, which I believe misses. We're going to try and hit Honest Joe. That is a 17.
That's a hit.
Okay. And because Nix is out staying back with the crossbow, we're not using a map today, so I'm going to say that the goose is not going to has range to peck you this turn. It might maneuver around in future turns to peck at you. Okay. Fokian, you're just what weapon is Fokian going to try and take out here? What would you be prepping?
Spear.
Spear. Yeah. So as you're readying your spear, somehow it just goes straight through. So I'm gonna now when I play my home game, I play the max damage critical rule, but we're gonna play normal critical hit rules, which is probably a relief given I'm the one I've rolled the critical hit. So...
If you take me down in one blow, I won't be that much worse off than the shop owner found me.
Okay, so it's we just double the damage though, so that's all it is. So it's not going to be that bad. It is 10 points of. I've made this bludgeoning damage because geese beaks aren't pointed and sharp, just like bashing you. Yes. Very annoying goose. Take 10 points damage.
Am I knocked down?
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's just the damage. Reese, you're next up, I think.
Yeah, so I'm not fantastic at hitting. I'm better at a tank, but I'll step up and still shield in hand, try and stab at the spear.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I hit Joe as well, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
So, Joe, you are also pecked for 3 points of damage. So, Reese, what do we got?
A natural 20 on my spear.
Okay.
Is that just 2? So it's normally 1d6 plus 2, I think.
So roll 2d6 and then 2.
Yeah, 2d6 and 2. Okay. 9. Not a fantastic fighter.
Okay, 9 points of damage. You managed to spear through 2 goose necks simultaneously, breaking spines, and they start flopping awkwardly, bouncing around while the rest of the goose is swaying backwards and forwards. There are only 2 more geese heads remaining, and one of them is half regrown at this point. It's looking like its initial flurry of aggression was perhaps ill-founded against you. Fokian.
Yeah, I rolled an 18. So I'm going to do 8 points of damage. I do a D8 plus 1.
Okay, that will hit that 8 points of damage.
Sorry,
Okay,
my 18 is a 21.
Okay, 21, yeah. And you rolled and you 8 points of damage, yeah? Great.
Yeah.
Okay. You managed to take off the half regrown head that was coming back out of it now, which sort of flops around looking half formed at your feet, with only 1 goose head remaining. It apparently doesn't think better of this rash move it's made, and just continues trying to peck you. Joe.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah, I think we're back around.
I've got disadvantage, right?
You have disadvantage on your next attack.
I'm gonna still take a swing at the remaining head, and I do. Oh, I rolled a 12 both times, so 17.
17's a hit.
Yeah. Brilliant. So then, 10 damage.
10 damage. You take the final goose head off, and for a moment, this bizarre spectacle of a massive, oversized goose with its wings spread and 5 headless necks stands there, stamping up and down with its orange feet, and then it falls forward. You can see that the necks are trying to regrow.
I'm going to
Do we have any fire?
produce a tinderbox, use it to light my char cloth. I know how to do this, and light one of my torches as fast as you'll let me.
Yes, that you can do that within action. So perhaps you seem to know the you've heard the legends of things like hydras and trolls, which aren't uncommon in stories, and you think, yeah, we got to get rid of these heads. So you light a torch and start cauterizing the stumps. And as you burn, as soon as the fire touches it and the feathers start blackening, the goose stops regenerating, and you realize you are now goose slayers.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
So we're no longer in initiative.
Hacking and slashing at the goose anyway, because it takes him a little while to, come back out of his fear of the terrible honking. He's still a bit in the moment.
And
It's
for
a good
weeks
roast in here.
afterwards, for weeks afterwards, your dreams echo with the honks. Okay, right, yeah. So you've seen this goose. The river is flowing just ahead of you.
Who has taken damage besides me?
I took some damage this fight and last fight. 8 points total.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 2 spell slots left, and I would like to use both of them for cures. And as it's been about 20 years since I played straight D&D, what happens now?
Okay, so you want to. So who would you like to cure wounds?
I would like to spend 1 on Joe and 1 on me, unless someone else has damage.
Okay. Yeah, then so
Nice.
cure wounds. It's 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier, and restore that many hit points.
Well, Joe gets an 8.
Oh, nice.
I rolled an 8, so that 8 plus 2 is going to be 10.
That brings
Okay.
me up to full. Thank you
Full.
very much.
Okay.
And then for myself, I love this, just pressing a button and getting a roll. I rolled an 8 again. I honest to God, this is the best. Either that or it generates great numbers. I don't know. So I'll take the whole lot. So I'll take 10. And you did 11 to me, right? So
Yeah,
you did 10. You did 10.
I think I did. Was it 12?
Oh,
no,
you did 12.
Sorry, it was 10.
You
It
did
was
12.
10.
Yeah.
It was 10. 10.
10? That was 12.
Yeah, because the dice was 9. Yeah, and it was a +1.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So you place your hand on Honest Joe, and you feel that the hurt where you got badly pecked, the bruise starts healing, and Foki, you do the same to yourself. And the discoloration of the flesh underneath goes away, and you feel a lot better.
Good.
As you're doing this, Reese and Nixie, you look towards the river, and over down in the long grass and the reeds, you catch glimpses of yellow and white between the grass. And here and there, a tatter of cloth, an old rusted tool or weapon. And a quick investigation shows you the remains of other humanoid creatures that have fallen here. You have a poke around in them. So there's a shield with a bright yellow sun on it. There's a rusted old morning star. There's some of these bodies are very, very old. Some of them, the flesh has sort of been clumsily peeled, stripped away from them, you think. Or maybe they were just murdered for goosely fun. But there are, apart from the general tattered, decayed cloth, there are a few useful things. One of the corpses, they're all skeletal. There's no flesh left or anything. But one of them is lying on its back, and its skeletal hand is still clutched over its head like this. And in its hand, there is a potion bottle with a red and gold specked liquid inside it, which it perhaps was just trying to pour in its mouth when it got mauled to death by an angry goose.
Okay.
And so you have one potion of greater healing.
Okay.
As well, amongst everything there is also a longsword of exceptionally fine quality, which looks like it's made of an unusual metal. Those of you who are skilled with martial weapons, you'd recognize this as an adamantine longsword. Adamantine weapons are better at destroying buildings. However, they are a lot more expensive than a regular weapon. I like to imagine that kind of the rainbow colors you get in oil when it's lying in a puddle on the ground, like a bit of spent diesel or something. I like to think that's what you see in the blade. Yeah, it's that sort of beautiful but slightly greasy rainbow colors. So,
but by a piece of amazing irony, my character has no idea how to use a longsword. So I just smile at it and say, "Isn't that beautiful? Look at the colors."
So if you decide if someone would like to take that, you're welcome to it, and somebody can take a greater potion of healing.
I'm not a great damage dealer, so feel free, Mr. Paladin.
How much damage does the longsword do?
It functions as a regular longsword, unless you're hitting buildings or structures or constructs, and it deals double damage.
So is that just sorry, because I'm on a great sword right now. So is a longsword like
it's 1d8 damage, or 1d10 if you use both hands.
Yeah, I'll happily take the longsword unless somebody else can get use out of it.
I'm too small.
My shield.
I'm too small. I couldn't even pick it up.
I'm pretty sure that I need to be 5th level to use that longsword, so I'll just smile and decline.
You could use it if you wanted. You have martial weapon proficiency as a ranger.
Oh,
then feel free, Foki, and I'll like offer it over to you.
Well, I'll bow and take it because I've just learned a lesson about my spear not necessarily getting in the way of an onrushing goose. Ed, I would like to take the best goose feather out of the dead goose and put it in my hat.
Oh, I mean, okay, these feathers are they're like, what's that, about 3 feet long?
Do it anyway.
Yeah.
You have to make a little hole in the hat.
I'm more than a bit of a dandy. I'm going to take the best goose feather. I am going to win the goose feather contest somewhere.
Yeah, you have an amazing looking goose feather in your hat now. As you do, I think you remember who was it Joe or Reese who tried to write in the book earlier?
Oh,
Joe.
That was me.
Yeah, Joe. You recognise the feathers as the same type of feather that quill was made out of.
In that case, I'm also going to take a feather because I still have thoughts about that book. I'm also going to take out my holy symbol because I am a paladin at the end of the day, and I'm going to say a little prayer for the souls of the departed via Angry Goose.
I'm going to play appropriate music under Joe. As soon as I see what Joe's doing, I'm going to pull out my flute and play something soothing to help the soul of that Hydra goose, the Gydra, the Hoos, to go up to wherever it goes. The Gydra, yeah.
Okay.
I'll take, while they're doing these very useful things, I'm going to look for a nest, if there is such a thing. I know I'm interested as a ranger in learning how this thing lived. I mean, what did it do? Why? Why was it so angry? Was it sick?
Goose.
Okay, make a survival check. And can you also make a dexterity check?
Which do you want first?
Give me survival first.
The survival is a 17, and I'm going to get, I believe, a +3 on that. And I apologize for the 19 I rolled on my dexterity check, but I did.
So you have a look around the area. It's hard to say how many square miles a single Hydra goose requires to provide itself with sustenance. But what does become apparent is that despite its aggressive nature, given the lack of other animals and creatures that you've seen in the area, it seems unlikely that it would be able to survive simply by eating periodic groups of travelers that arrive in its vicinity. And you think perhaps this strange monstrosity probably doesn't have an ecology quite like that of ordinary birds. With your high dexterity roll, as you're searching about, you almost stepped in like quite a monstrous pile of fossilized goose droppings. But with a 19, you swerve your foot at the last moment and your boots are safe.
I think I want to stir the goose crop to see what it was eating, and then I decide not to, and I walk away.
Wise choice.
Thank goodness. You know, as a DM, sometimes you have to like really come up with stuff on the fly. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to come up with what we get out of this." Okay. Thank you for deciding not to do that, Miles. Okay. So, following the defeat of the goose, we have no group name, do we? I'm going to call you the Far From Homes. What are the Far From Homes going to be doing?
Well, we got to continue on with our quest.
We have to continue on with our quest, but we also have to figure out that we've just been duped. We were lied to. We were lied to. And we have to proceed with extra caution, because if that was a lie, chances are the next thing is going to be a lie too.
Yeah,
So we
I
have to
don't
be
think
careful.
he's being straight with us.
I don't either. I think we got lied to. Were we supposed to be the food for that goose? Seems so.
Yeah.
Ed, I'm going to take out the map I made him draw because it's a piece of paper.
Yep.
And I'm going to write on it. I can use a goose quill if I have to, or a bit of charcoal because I've had a torch out. I'm going to write on it. I think we should talk about this in the most glowing terms. Everything is fine.
Okay.
It's going to
Okay.
take Joe a long time to read that. But when
Yeah,
he does,
me
he's going to
too.
be like, oh, and then he's going to wink.
Okay.
So we've got all these dead bodies, right? The skeletons, that is, around. It's around the boat.
Oh no, the boat is further down the river.
Further?
A little.
It's further. Okay, because that's our next place. And I'm a little nervous. Or I should say not nervous. I'm a bard. I'm apprehensive. I'm on my game. I'm going to be saying, let's proceed with caution.
Okay.
But we got to get to the next place.
I'm going to drop my bag of goose feed. I'm not going to carry it any farther.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say loudly something like, "And now I'm feeding the geese."
Okay.
Okay.
We brought our
Okay.
nephew. We brought our nephew along. Fokian is our nephew. Cool.
Having abandoned the goose feed, you feel lighter as you walk alongside of the swiftly flowing river. It's not too far down the river where you see that a boat lies. It seems it's sort of beached on a sandbank in the middle of the river. Seems made out of wood, but its sail is in grim tatters, and this is not ridden down a river in many years. A metal railing around the deck shows signs of significant rust. The boat is not of design you recognize necessarily. Is anyone proficient in Arcana?
I have a comprehend language skill.
It's the Arcana skill proficiency. No.
I just have comprehend languages. I don't know if that extends to
No.
Arcana.
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No, this is knowledge about. Does anyone have history proficiency?
Yes.
I think I do.
Yes.
Okay. If you have history, you can make a history check.
I have Jack of all trades. Does that supersede history or?
Does that give you half proficiency in history?
A one proficiency in history +1.
The good times
as a bard, you can roll on it. Yeah.
the good times are over, Ed. I rolled a 2, and if I add my 2, I made it to 4.
Okay, that's an impressive score, but probably not enough in this case.
I rolled a 9, so if I add my +1, I got a 10. It's not fabulous,
10.
but yeah.
Okay. No, we're not really. There's not really a lot of recognition going on. This is an oddly shaped boat or ship of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like it even necessarily really go on a river. Its hull is not the right shape. But you have made it there. This is a wreck rather than a boat that you could travel anywhere in. But it's out in the middle of the river.
How far away?
It's probably 20-25 feet through the water.
And what is the water like? Is it like rushing water over a stony bottom, rushing water over sand?
It's still
Not so rushing water?
So an uneven, rocky bottom, stones. They're not sharp, but they are rocks. The water is flowing fairly quickly, but it's not white water. It's not thundering through like a flood. But there is a current.
Keeping in mind,
I'm not getting in that.
keeping in mind how recently I was captured by goblins, I'm going to prod at the water a great deal with my spear, however ridiculous that makes me look.
Okay, you attack the river.
It's
ineffective.
Probing.
I
Okay.
throw my bag of goose feed into the water. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe something will eat it.
There is a splash as it enters the water. But no, you don't see the signs of you don't see any fish or other things living in the water.
Remember,
Did all the footprints end here, as in no one has got past the goose?
Well, if you want to check for footprints here, you can.
I will.
Yes,
Um,
someone who can
there-
actually spot them.
So there are some footprints around here. There are so Fokian would be able to tell there are two different sets of tracks, much more coming and going from this area. One set of the track, both quite small, two sets of small tracks. They do. One of them has definitely come and gone from here many times. The other has been around here sometimes. How long ago? Well, varying different ages. One set of them a very long period of time. The other ones have only been coming and going maybe 10 years. But these are small creatures.
I don't
How
trust this.
small?
So Nixa, as a gnome, would be considered a small creature.
3.5 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, so halflings are considered small as well.
How about a 4'8" shopkeeper?
He would be considered small.
Okay.
It seems like it would maybe hold me up if I got out to the boat, but I'm a little leery of that. And we need to get the rust, right? We need to get the rust. Do we know exactly where to scrape it from?
You were just told it was a rusty boat, but you can see the railing along it is definitely rusty.
Okay,
Are there scrape marks on the railing?
You can't see at this distance.
Okay.
I'm gonna start wading out to the boat. But because I'm still trying to obey what Fokion wrote on paper about treating everything like everything's fine, I'm just going to start wading out to the boat while loudly saying, "This is a nice boat! This is all going really well!"
I'm going to put an arrow on my bow and cover Joe as he moves across the water.
I will get out a crossbow and do the same.
Okay.
I am readying my mage hand because I'm thinking I've got 30 feet. I got 20 feet to the boat. My mage hand can go 30. So I may be able to scrape it off. If these guys get into any trouble, I'm just getting mine sort of ready. I'm watching.
Okay.
And plotting.
Okay. So there's definitely no attempt at being stealthy here. We've got a guy in full armor, like just trying to go through the water. Joe, just roll a d20 for me. I'm not sure we've determined how deep this water is.
I rolled a 2.
No, we haven't. That was my next
up to 10 feet, up to 10, 12 feet from shore, I prodded it. If it went over his head, I'd know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you could hit the bottom 10 feet away. That'd be I suppose a really long spear might be able to do it.
I rolled a 2.
No, I just mean a 12-foot spear. This is exactly why I'm prodding the bottom, because I fell into an underwater trap. So I'm prodding at the ground, and if it slopes away too steeply, I'm speaking as a trout fisherman. I think I'd know if it sloped away that steep.
Okay, yeah. So Joe, as you're going forward, splashing. You can't do anything but walk on the bottom. You have no buoyancy. You can't float. You step into as I said, the floor is uneven rocks. You take a moment. You step into just a hole. It's not deep, but for a few moments you go under, and you have to burst out through the other side. Back up to the surface. You you spit water. And as you look up at the boat, you see a small goblin figure standing on the boat. You see his face looking out from a little window in a cabin on the deck, and you see he does have a bow and arrow aimed towards you. He's got grey skin, greyish brown skin. He's got long grey white hair as well. And despite feeling like you were about to drown, you see he's an older goblin. But he hasn't shot an arrow at you, at least.
I call out in Goblin, which I speak, and say, "We mean you no harm. Are you the boat's owner?"
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, Lordy Pete.
And because you're talking in Goblin, you can roll with advantage.
I'm going to roll good old-fashioned dice and not press the button on it, which may be I have a 15 and a 14. So I get to choose the 15 because it's better. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. And do you have any bonuses to that?
+4 because I have a high charisma and I have it as a skill. So
Right.
that is going to be 19.
19. Okay. The goblin moves away from the window and then comes out on the deck. He's got the bow and arrow held downwards. He's looks across to you.
I'm going to put mine down too.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Stupid man drowned in river. Ha ha.
Yeah, I mean, I am basically still floundering around in the water at this point. I've been utterly unable to extricate myself.
Foolish man, drowned in river. Ha ha ha.
What's he saying? Can somebody please help me?
So
I'm going to say we are all foolish. We were sent here.
Didn't get eaten by goose. Well done. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha. I agree. I'm going to translate all this for my friends, which is going to take a moment.
okay.
Nixa, do you know any good jokes? Because
Yes.
goblins often like a good joke.
Good. I'm 25 feet. Are you at the boat? You're like right by the boat, right?
I'm right next to you. Only Joe is out in the water.
Okay, I wasn't sure how far away you were. I have jokes, but I also have songs. So, tell me what you know, Folkian. I can tell a joke. I can sing a song. Which one is more effective on these creatures?
Goblin, what's your name? I shout in Goblin.
I am Mazgat.
Mazgat, could we trade you a song or a joke for a little rust off the rail of your ship?
You notice he's wearing like a lot of necklaces made out of like animal bone and just like little leaves and stuff like that. His clothes look pretty old and ragged. It would have to be a good one.
Okay. I'm going to offer a song that has high persuasion and charisma. And
Okay.
I rolled a 17, and I have a plus 2 for my charisma.
So it's a performance check. Are you proficient in performance?
I am. Plus 6 in performance. So
Great.
that's a 20. That's lovely. That's a 23.
Okay. What kind of song are you going to play? Is it a jaunty song? Is it an epic song?
Oh, it's going to be a jaunty song, something that makes him like a sea shanty. And I'm going to use, instead of my flute, I'm going to use my drum, and I'm going to sing.
Okay. All right. This drumming particularly appeals to him. And he actually puts his arrow down and his bow and starts doing like a little goblin dance. You see this wild look in his eyes, as though he hasn't heard any music for perhaps a very long time, and he becomes sort of almost totally overwhelmed by it as he starts trying to slap his legs in time with the music.
I'm going to increase the tempo of the music in an attempt to tire him out and disorient him.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, the more you play, the more he continues to dance. How long are you going to try to do this for?
10 minutes. It's a very potent song.
Okay.
I'm going to wave at Joe and try and get Joe to come back to shore, because it would be, I imagine the water is cold.
It's really cold. I'm trying to get back to shore, but I'm not very steady on my feet. But
I have a nice spear you can grab. I'll provide the butt end, not the sharp end.
Yeah, I will grab hold and clamber out.
Okay, so you're going back, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Reese, what are you up to?
I'm trying not to interfere with the song. Otherwise, I'm not sure what to do. Maybe stay quiet and stay out of the way and look non-threatening.
Hold tight
Just
to the rope.
keep one hand on that crossbow, kind of behind my back.
Okay.
If the song goes on long enough, I'm going to write out another note, and my note's going to say something like, Nixa, what's your plan? All we need to do is talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, this song's just, yeah.
Now, question, does it tire him out? Does it work? I mean, with my throw, with the 23. Does it tire him out?
So after about 7 minutes, he looks like...
Okay.
And he's like, okay, no more. As he leans on the railing of the boat. Good song. Well done. Rust if you want it. I cannot anyway. Is that rust?
I need a bag, because I can send my mage hand to the railing and scrape it into a bag, but I need a bag, so I need to work with someone else.
Empty out your goose food.
Oh, we all have goose
And
food
keep
bags.
that bag.
Okay, I'll do that. I'm going to empty out my goose food bag, and I'm going to
call. Oh, sorry.
And I'm going to send my mage hand across the water. I still have 5 feet past that 25-foot distance, and I'm going to start scraping the rust into my goose feed bag to bring back.
Okay. The hand carries the mage hand, the bag over, and Muscat, as he regains his breath, why you bother doing this? What's his point? Same as the bookshop man. Why you want rust?
Do you know the bookshop man? I call out in Goblin.
Only hide from bookshop man. Bookshop man, very bad. Won't eat you. He write your soul into book and then sell you. Very bad man. My friends, eaten by goose.
New news.
Where is your ship
Has he not
from?
noticed feather on the hat?
This ship, Astral Sea ship, Spelljammer ship, crash, not meant to be here. But this is not my ship.
Could we refloat this Spelljammer? Could it sail the astral seas again?
I don't know. I am a shaman. I just do goblin things. Yes, I've never been to Astral Sea.
So I'm going to ask Fokian to ask him if he's looking to get back to his own dimension too.
I ask.
Of course, I want to go to live with other goblins.
Maybe we should take him with us.
How do you plan to get away? I've been here for 10 years.
Well, we killed the goose for a start.
How powerful is the bookshop owner?
He'd just try and, like, suck your brain out, I think. Put you in a book.
Okay. What, like a
Well,
mind flayer? I don't
One
know
thing
that.
is for certain. One thing is for certain. If he uses this ink to write the story that traps our souls, we can't bring him the dust that he needs. We have to hide it.
Should we bring
So
it at
we-
all? Why not leave it?
Well, we might be able to trade it for our lives.
We might
If
be
we
able
keep
to
it a
bargain.
secret. We might be able
But-
to bargain with it.
I desperately wish that I had the skills to repair this boat and sail the astral seas, because we could just leave if we could fix the boat.
Maybe the skills are in his books.
Is it worth... Oh. I don't want to burden Ed or the party with all of the time it would take to write all this out. So I'm just going to write one sentence. My one sentence is going to say, is it worth trying to trick him? Question mark.
You mean the bookshop owner, right? Is that question to Ed or is that to all of us?
To all of us.
Well, I'm not a very good liar, but you can give it a shot.
I'm a great liar, so if we want to trick him, I'm a
Best
great
quality in a
liar. I
friend.
can tell a story and make you believe it. So if we
Okay.
want to try that, I will be the mouthpiece.
Yeah, okay. And if that fails, we can always hit him with sharp things later.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's a solid plan B. I'm all for that.
All right.
Well, so Ed, if you will allow me, because this will take some number of rounds, because I'll have to write on little scraps of paper and hand them around and people will hand them back. If that's allowed, I'll just explain that my thought is that Nixa goes back, says she's the only survivor, says that we got some of the astral dust, but it's on the bodies, and she ran back hoping that the bookshop owner would cure the wounded and try and get him to come to us, and we would ambush him and make him give us what we want.
The risk is yours, Nick, so it's up to you.
Or we
Well-
all just go to his shop and like nothing is wrong, like everything is fine, right up until he says, "Where's the astral rust?" And then we're like, "Where's the goose, dude? Like, what were you not telling us?"
I prefer
One
to go
thing-
as a group, but
I think we ought to stay as a group. I know one thing, and that's being 3.5 feet tall and not a warrior. If I get confronted, I could die pretty easily. I have some spells, it's true, but I think that we don't want to split our group in less than halves.
Okay,
Two of us could go back, and another two stand right outside the door. Maybe
no,
put a
we
little
might as well all
something-
go.
I
I
think
mean, he was expecting us to be goose feet. He's going to be pretty surprised when we show
Surprised.
up. I think we'll have the advantage.
I'm
think
very
so, too.
confused by somebody who apparently wants the astral rust, but sent us unwarned to be eaten by the goose. I'm afraid that the illogic there tells me that there is more to this than it appears.
then meets the eye. Mhm.
Perhaps he didn't ever care about whether the astral rust came back. That's my concern.
If you saw tracks coming to him from the ship, do you think maybe he can just go and get it himself whenever, and he sent us here on a pretext to get us eaten
killed.
by...
Well, one thing that Ed has, I think, said is that there's a smaller set of tracks and a larger set of tracks, and the larger set of tracks didn't come the way we did. Is that correct, Ed?
There were two small sets of tracks.
Oh,
One
too
set-
small.
One set does not come along the river; it goes straight back into the forest. The other set of tracks, Foki and you probably guess, are probably Musgat the goblins when
Yeah.
it comes to this side of the river.
So the other set that goes straight back into the woods, can I backtrack them?
Yeah, you could follow them back. These tracks go backwards and forwards multiple times.
Yep. So probably, I'm just guessing, people, probably this is the shopkeeper coming to get their astral rust. And we were sent off to die just because he doesn't want it. It was never supposed to happen. We were never supposed to arrive in
We're
those
never
chairs.
supposed to come back. Never supposed
So-
to come back. Yeah.
But what that should tell us is that they are not very strong, not strong enough to overcome the four of us. So perhaps with a little, I'm a nice person. I don't like threatening small people, but I believe that perhaps what we need to do here is threaten. I could certainly work up to anger if it weren't for the fact that what I'm looking to go back to is being eaten by goblins. So I'm very, very tempted to stay. I was thinking I could just move on to the astral boat and you all could take the goblin back with you.
I mean, that works for me.
Well, I'll
should we go
join
and
you
confront-
as far as the bookshop, but I may choose to stay here because I don't have a lot to go back to.
Okay. All right.
You
fair
do
enough.
know there's no wine here, right? And no tavern. You sure you're all right with that decision? Because
A world without wine is a very sad world indeed. Maybe I'll grow grapes.
So
We live a long
Yeah.
are
time.
we resolved? Are we resolved to go back?
Yes.
We need a good story, though. We need a good story when we get there to tell him that.
But I don't think he's going to care what story you tell. He think you're goose food.
I
I-
don't think we should be honest with someone who's not honest with us.
Nixa, I think we're sneaking. We're going to go back his trail, and we're going to use stealth to move up to the bookshop, which is a building. And then I propose that we basically jump him, and the worst he can do is throw his books at us, and then Joe can kill the books.
I better bring up the rear. I'm really bad at stealth. And by bad at stealth, I mean I have a disadvantage to those rolls.
I can definitely go first. I can definitely
Okay.
go first because I'm the
Okay.
stealthiest.
I'm pretty stealthy too.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll bring
Yeah.
And I would like to suggest that threatening to set fire to the shop and all his books
Mhm.
seems to me a reasonable way of getting his attention.
Okay.
Okay. You head back through the forest, and Muzgat the Goblin decides he will accompany you on your journey. You find him quite annoying, but his heart doesn't seem to be in a bad place. As you're walking through, up in the air, like a wooden bowl, at the last moment you notice a wooden bowl tips out and water pours down on Muzgat, and then the bowl just flies off. And Muzgat dances backwards and forwards, going,
Aye, the pixies are so annoying in this forest. They're always playing jokes on me.
and you faintly hear them laughing again.
Pixies. Pixies.
You follow the tracks back through the forest and come back to the bookshop. And the door appears to be closed currently. You going to head inside, or
Is the door the only entrance?
yes, there's windows, but the windows are lead piping with glass panes.
If I
So
may, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say I can't sneak at all, so I might as well barrel in and be a distraction, and you guys could come in through other means if you can find another route in.
Yeah,
To the
I'll go
best
with
of
you.
our knowledge, with one check through a window, the bell on the door has already been tied back. So I'm wondering if a stealthy person can get through the door without being noticed.
Feel
And
free.
and Nixa, you are also stealthy?
I am very stealthy. And I don't have weapons, but you just picked up a long sword, and I heard Ed say that you can hit a building with it.
Yes,
So this could destroy a place, not just
I
a
heard
person.
that too. I heard that too. Although I don't think that would be stealthy, but it does sound fun.
But I'm already thinking about Plan B. Plan B. Always have to have a Plan B in my bard world, in my gnome world. Okay, so
We
So
propose, I think, that
Yeah.
Nixa and I will try to go through the door stealthily, and then we will try to move until we encounter the shopkeeper? Question mark.
I
And
think, yes.
at that point, I'll blow my dog. I'll whistle, and everybody comes through a window or door at their preference.
Mhm.
I'm going to leave my lovely dog outside. He's not really a combat dog.
I'm going to take my dagger after we go through and use it to jam it into the wood of the door so that the door can't close permanently behind us, separating the party. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who's going to enter first?
Me, Fokion.
All right,
Okay.
and I'm second.
Oh, actually, I'll bet that Nixa is stealthier than I am. My stealth is +3, so you should open the door because you'll probably be better at it.
I have stealth +4.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can shoot over your head.
Okay. All right. Excellent. I feel covered.
Okay.
So I'm going to open the door very quietly.
Let's get a stealth check from Fokion and from Nixa.
6. But I have +4, so yes, 10.
13 + 3 is 16.
Okay.
I want your dice.
I have rolled, except for 2 rolls, like a god. I like it. Because this is definitely not how Adventure 1 with this character went. I tripped over things in the woods. I fell down a slope, and then I was captured by goblins. It was fabulous.
You've got to get one of those dice prisons. They're really good. Punish those dice when they roll badly.
Okay, what are those rolls?
10 for me.
13 for me, +3 is 16.
Okay.
Do I? I'm not sure. Do I get a proficiency bonus of +2? Do I actually add that to this?
Only if you're proficient in the skill. Depends whether you marked it on your sheet.
It is. Yes.
Okay, yeah, you get +2 then. Okay.
Okay, so instead of 6, 4, 12. So that's 12.
12.
Still under.
12 is, okay. You cautiously try the door, and it seems that the clapper on the bell has been tied back. It is not. It's not ringing as you go in. You stealthily move through, and you can hear the sounds of the young, or strangely not quite anything looking creature. Still seems to be. He's placing your books back onto their onto their little plinths. Yeah, the lecterns. And there's a couple of vials of dark different liquids and things, some powder straight from a block, and an ink bottle. He seems to be in the process of starting to mix up some new ink to continue on writing your tales. And as you're creeping forwards, turns around, looks straight at you. Your rolls, I'm afraid, were not high enough today, and you are spotted. He hisses at you in a language that you don't understand initially. It's just a collection of sounds, kind of wet, growling sound. And then, oh, I'm sorry. I meant to talk to you in this language.
Ah, okay.
But you see the anger on its face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to whistle.
I'm going to try and persuade him that we should be working together on the same team. I am deceiving, but I want him to give us our books back so that we get control of our books. We don't want him writing in them, but that we would be his helpers in getting other people, which is a lie, but that's what I come up with on the fly.
Okay. Make a deception check.
2.
Okay. He gets. Yeah, he's got.
Oh wait! Oh, sorry. Wait! But my bonus, it's 2, but +6, so 8.
He has an insight roll of 22 against your deception. So I'm afraid lies, lying, deception.
Lies would be sending people to die with the goose. Give me a reason not to put this shaft in your throat. 3, 2.
You're all just stories to be told.
As are you, sir.
So as you're getting to one, his face at the bottom splits into 4 parts, separating out, growing longer into long tendrils, and the rest of him, his head suddenly looks a lot more like a squid. And you've heard tales of mind flayers, but this is not quite a mind flayer. This is perhaps like a Peter Pan who just wanted to live on stories. It's a mind flayer who didn't want to grow up, and it is therefore a juvenile. Miles.
I did whistle, you'll recall, as my very first thing. So I'm rather hoping that other people are coming. But as soon as it proves to have a bipartite mouth, I would like to release the arrow I've been holding over her shoulder all the time, because I don't think the time for talk is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, either you or the mind flayer are going to get to go first. Well, the weird mind flayer. We are going to roll initiative on this just to see whether your arrow goes first or his action goes off first. So let's see what we get.
10. Do I get any bonus? Does it matter?
It's a dexterity
yes.
bonus.
I can roll for inspiration because I'm a bard. I can give him inspiration.
So I can do 13.
Yeah, sure.
I can get to 13.
Okay, roll inspiration.
Is that D6 or D20?
I think it's D6 at this level.
D6, right? Okay, I thought so.
Mm.
5.
Of all the times.
5.
A 5. What's your total?
Do I get to add that 5? I was at 13.
So it's
Roll.
plus 2 because it's a plus 2 for the inspiration. So it's 5 plus 2.
Right.
Yes, with that total,
Is that right?
you can shoot first.
Nice.
And may I ask questions later? No.
I feel like the time for questions may be over.
Am I shooting with advantage because I was prepared, or does it not work that way?
It's a straight up shot.
Okay, sorry, I rolled 2 dice. I have to roll again. I roll a 12, and I'm plus 7.
That will hit.
So
Yeah.
Get armor class 19.
Yeah.
And I believe I do a D8 plus 3, in which case I do 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. Okay.
And I will interrupt cast.
Yeah. As he sucks in a breath, you loose the arrow. It hits him in the shoulder. He lets out a shuddering psychic screech. However, everyone else is coming through the windows, right?
Or doors.
The door.
Oh, the door. You're coming to the door.
Yeah.
Okay, but due to the positioning in the room, this is only going to affect Fokion and Nixa. I need you both to make an intelligence saving throw.
Is that a
Oh,
D20?
thank goodness it's not us.
Yes.
I was just thinking the same thing. Joe would not do well.
Yeah.
14. Do I get a bonus? I don't think I have an intelligence bonus, and I just pressed it.
Okay, then it's fine. Yeah, and Nixa.
Hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
This is 2D20.
Just D20 plus your intelligence saving throw.
All right, 19 plus my intelligence saving throw. I have advantage, but I have 0 on intelligence saving throw.
Okay, then roll another D20. Maybe you'll roll a 20 on it, but you probably don't need to worry too much.
17. A 17 and a 19.
Okay. Okay, this blast of psychic energy rips out, causing shuddering pain in your heads, but you both pass the saving throw. It would be 17 points of damage to both of you, but that is going to be halved down to 8 points of damage to both of you.
Aye.
Because you were successful on that save.
Okay.
After it would be Nixa. What would you like to do in retaliation?
Okay, I have a couple questions. So, what is our squid man wearing or carrying? What does he have?
He's wearing
armor?
You can't see any armor. No, it's like a thick leather workman's apron.
Okay, all right, that one
over like a shirt.
Okay, I want to I want to use a spell.
I'll tell you what. Actually, sorry though. Fokion did hit him with an arrow though.
So
there is a where it tore through. You can see there is a breastplate beneath the shirt. Yes.
Okay, there's a breastplate. The breastplate is metal.
It is metal.
Oh, we love it. Nixa sees this metal and gets the brilliant idea to use one of her second level spells, Heat Metal, which creates the person I decide is going to, anything that's on their person that's metal is going to heat up and cause damage, fire damage.
Let's do it.
So I've got a 2d8 fire. I'm not sure which to. I rolled a 20. Twice.
So no, 2d8s. The 8-sided dice.
The 8-sided dice, right? Of course. I knew that. Not 7. However, what else do I get with that? I get.
I think it's just straight up 7 damage.
Straight up. Okay, 7 damage.
Okay, so the metal of his breastplate, you see it start to glow, and there's a sizzling and a sort of burnt pork smell. Or actually, no, it's going to be burnt fish, isn't it? Squid, calamari.
Squid.
Yeah. It's sizzling sound.
Yeah.
As his armor starts to char him beneath his apron. Okay. We will go. Let's go. Reese can go next.
Right. I will. Is there a lot of space? Can I get into him?
Yeah. Like it's a pretty big
right.
open room.
Right. Okay. I'll just charge straight through with. Try and hit with a spear.
Let's go for it.
12 is probably not going to hit him. I'm guessing.
I'm afraid a 12 doesn't hit him. No. As you thrust with the spear and he catches it in the air just before it gets to him and pushes it away. Anything else? Should we go to Honest Joe?
I'm saving my reaction in case I can throw a shield in front of someone.
Good stuff. Joe Grobler.
I'm going to run in on Reese's heels, and I'm going to cast Bless.
Okay. Who are you blessing?
I think that I can bless up to 3 people. So I'm going to bless all 3 of you. So you all get an extra 1d4 that you can add to every attack roll or saving throw for the next.
Joe, I love you. Wow, that is fabulous.
That's lovely. Thank you.
And I'm going to need to know more about your god if I survive this.
We'll have a chat.
Okay. All right. Fokion, your turn.
I'm going to stay with what works. I'm going to shoot again.
Okay.
Sorry, can I shoot without hitting?
Yeah. You can maneuver so you won't have to shoot through anyone.
I'm sadly just rolled a 1.
Oh. Yeah, I'm guessing the extra d4 won't help much there.
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah. As you try and draw it back, somehow the string slips off the knob on the bow, and your arrow just flies away into the stacks of books. Brings it to the bookshop owner's turn. He is well. First of all, we have to see whether or not that Mind Blast ability is able to come back. It does come back.
Oh, hooray!
Seeing new threats coming through, we're going to need our 2 newcomers going to turn towards you guys. So we'll have Reese and Joe Grobler. If you can make intelligence saving throws.
I will probably use that bless on this.
Yeah, feel free to use the bless.
Flat 14. I don't have a bonus to that.
17. 14.
Okay, these are both successful rolls, to be pleased to know. So it would have been 14 points of damage, but you may halve that to 7.
Ooh, okay.
It's making my headache so much worse.
And as he does that, feeling this metallic burning, knowing, understanding where the source of this pain comes from, he's going to walk up to Nixa and get close enough that he'll be able to possibly attack next turn. But until then, it's now Nixa's turn.
All right. I'm getting to the bottom of my defenses for a small person. So I need to reach into my bag of spells.
Get behind me.
You get some cover. I'll give you some cover.
Okay. I will. You know what okay. So now that I've got this great offer, I am going to jump behind Fokian. But as I do, I'm going to throw my other cantrip, which is Minor Illusion. It's only visual and auditory, but it's going to be me singing in another part of this space. It'll last for a minute, but he's going to think that I've moved there, but I've jumped behind Fokian.
Okay, now you're not turning invisible or anything, and he's purposefully come up to you.
Oh, all right.
You can try starting the illusion on yourself and moving it away so that it may not know which one is you, but it will get an intelligence check of some kind to try and work it out.
Right. So I'll move, and as I'm moving, we'll split into two, and he won't know which one is me.
Okay, make a deception check for me.
Make a deception.
Or performance, maybe. Whichever. Performance is probably more.
Let's see. Deception check. I've got 10 plus 6, so that's 16.
16. So I'm going to contest it with insight and see whether you're believed.
He's a squid. How smart could he be?
He doesn't do so well. He's not sure which one is you.
Good.
Yeah, this has confused him.
Good.
All right. His tentacles, they try and follow you in different directions as they're reaching out for you. Okay, that brings us to Reese.
All I can do is try and hit him again. I've used my blessing bonus.
Yeah, you can keep adding it for the duration.
I've already used it for the read.
You can keep add it for the duration.
Joe, can you make a concentration check?
Oh yeah. How do I do that? Is it a straight D20?
It's a Constitution save.
Constitution save.
I think I've hit anyway. 21 total.
21.
Yeah, you're fine. Yes, that does hit me. What's the damage?
6 to 8.
8. Okay, yep. You smash into him with was it your spear? Yeah. And yes, he's looking not uninjured at this point, but he's still in fighting shape. So Joe, to finish the round.
While I'm still concentrating on my bless, can I still do a divine smite?
Yeah, it's not a spell, so yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and swing at him with my greatsword. Oh no, 7.
So
I will not be divine smiting today.
I'm afraid a 7 is no good, honest Joe Grubbler. He evades it, and you just stop your swing just before it reaches a bookshelf. But then you think, "Oh, what am I doing?" You cut through the books anyway. Fokian, we're around to you.
It looks to me, Sid, since the string has come off my longbow, that would take me quite an acrobatic moment to restring. So let's try the longsword that the gods have gifted me. So we'll just roll some dice electronically because real dice betrayed me. And obviously this thing is great with a 17. So I believe I'm going to be +3 on my longsword, but
what's his you use strength, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be +1 then. +1. I hit armor class 19.
You do hit, yeah. Swing is two-handed, so that'll be a D10 plus your strength modifier and damage.
That's going to be 7 + 1, 8.
8 damage. Okay, yeah. He reels back. purplish alien blood spurting from the wound. And then we've got to see whether or not he can mind blast you guys again. Not this turn. Reese, you put yourself in harm's way, drawing attention like a tank. So he's going to try and latch onto your head with his tentacles.
Okay. Fair enough.
Does an 18 hit you?
No. You need a 19.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
That would sure hit me.
Yeah, I traded
Yeah.
damage for a lot of AC.
It seems to have paid off.
Yeah.
So, that's his turn. We go to Nixa. You're currently got a little illusory version of yourself in nearby.
Is it still going? It lasts for a minute. Is it still going?
Let me just check it. Depends whether it's a concentration spell.
It's minor illusion.
Minor illusion.
Cantrip minor
It's
illusion.
cantrip. No, it only lasts. Oh, it should last a minute, but I don't know. You know what? Technically, the image can't create sound.
Okay.
As minor illusion, but it just continues for a minute. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So configuration in the room, are we all on one side and he on the other? I'm thinking plus one illusory me. He's still there and we're still like on the, are we in a semicircle?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you whether it works. Because we don't have a map.
I feel like I want to pull out something that's going to have a little bit more force, and it's my my trump card. I want to send a thunder wave, 2d8 save, and so
We'll be fine.
but I have to get everybody behind me. I say, get thee behind me, get thee behind me, because I think we can finally finish this, and hopefully everybody does. As long as they're in my plane or behind me, I can send a thunder wave off at it.
You can just stand next to Reese and do it. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So it's a Constitution saving throw from this guy.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Constitution saving throw. It's a 2d8.
No.
2d8.
Hang on, I meant to save. It rolls a 2. That's a bad roll. So 2d8 thunder damage.
Okay, thunder damage. Do I
Go,
roll?
Nixa, go.
Yeah, you roll.
But I'm not sure if it's the 20 or if it's the 8s.
2d8.
2d8.
Right. I thought so. Okay. Oh, good God. 5.
Okay.
Good God. Constitution.
He's also blasted back across the room, crashes into the lecterns with your books, and they all knock onto the ground.
Knock onto the ground. All right.
He's looking ropey at this stage. Okay. I think is he not prone as well? Maybe. Now you also have your heat metal spell is still going.
Okay, it's still going. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which you can use a bonus action this turn to cause the damage again. So just roll 2d8 damage, and you'll just inflict it.
Okay. But my next turn, not now, right?
You can do it this turn. Do it every turn.
Okay. Oh, good Lord. 2.
We're wearing him down.
Well, we're nibbling at him like cats. That's what it is.
Oh, my geese.
Like geese. Like a Gydra. A Quatra.
Okay. So his back there, the owner's back is up against the edge of the table. Reese, it's your turn. He's looking pretty bad.
I'll attempt to feebly stab him with a spear. And I completely miss on a 4. unless a 9 is going to hit him.
Reese, I believe you and I have had opposite die rolls for most of this game, so my 1 should give you a 20.
That's all right.
Yep. I'm afraid it's a miss. Honest Joe.
My ears are still ringing.
I'm going to just try and wail on him with the longsword again. Can I flank him to get advantage on the roll?
Actually, because his back's up against the table, no.
No, I cannot. Okay, I will just try and regular hit him. 19.
19 will hit.
Hooray! I'm going to Divine Smite. So 2d6 plus 3, I rolled a 2, so that's 5, and then another 2d8. 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 2 is 14.
How do you want to do this?
Hey! Can I just decapitate him, in one swing?
You absolutely can. You come in, you take your sword round your head, and bam, just come across, and his head, whoosh, it does that little thing where it like twizzles on his neck for a moment. His tentacles spraying out like those horses on a carnival ride, and then boom, he crashes onto the ground.
Okay.
Now,
I yell, "Don't eat it!" at my dog.
you just hear Muscat from the door going, "Hey, we won, guys! We won! Yeah, good fight!"
Yeah.
Now, in your victory, we only have a few minutes of time left here, so I'm gonna push us through the epilogue effectively. Having defeated him, the owner of the shop, you have time where you find his recipe for the correct ink and are able to use the astral rust you gathered to mix ink. And there you make your decisions. Fokian, are you going to stay and try and fix up the astral ship?
I think that's what I'd like to write for myself. Yes.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. What you learn about what you write for yourself is you only get to record what is happening. You can't, but you can record. Sorry, no, that's not correct. You can. What you write is both what is happening and what's happened. And if you'll be able to write that you leave the bookshop and return to where you are, or you can write that you stay and you repair the ship. Either is fine, and your next adventures can lead on from there. Is there any thing your characters would like to say to each other before they return to their original lives?
Jolly good job, friends.
It's been a pleasure.
It was an enormous pleasure meeting all of you. I hope we find each other again.
I burst into song. I am so glad we had this time together. Just to have a laugh and kill a goose.
The goose killers. To the goose killers.
Goose killers!
Goose killers. Killers. Yeah.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up there for today. If you want to do any shout outs or anything, now is the time. I'm just going to, first of all, thank TBRCon for having us all here to play today. I'm going to thank anyone who's been watching. I'm going to thank all the sponsors, FanFiAddict, and we are going to, and everyone who's been communicating with us and getting this all arranged and set up, because what a pleasure it's been to play with you all. Anyone want to do some shout outs to people?
Ed, I just want to thank you. Thanks for a lovely adventure that was fun and challenging and thoughtful, and all of you are great. And I bought Sunyi's book.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you for introducing yourselves to me, all of your books, because I only get to read most of the time stuff that I'm assigned. So now I can look out for your titles.
Thank you to the goose that probably traumatized Ed at some point and inspired this adventure.
Ed, you hit me right between the eyes because I hate geese, and I'll tell you why sometime over a beer.
Yeah. Thank you, Ed. For a relative newbie, this was a great game.
Really good fun.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right. That's a wrap from us, guys. Thank you
and
so
thanks
much
for the magnificent sword cut on us, Joe.